What's up, everybody? This is Nick, and you're joining us once again for the flagship podcast of this little network we call Pull Up a Chair. It's the PUC podcast.
I thought we were broadcasting something. What was it? You said something else.
Network.
You didn't say network. You said a different word.
No, it was network.
Oh, okay.
By the way, who are you that you're talking in the middle of this? Huh?
You didn't say my co-host. That's when I talk.
That's when you're supposed to talk.
That's why I say my name.
How dare you
say
talk out of turn,
Say
sir.
my co-host and I'll say my name.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for joining us. This is Nick, uninterrupted, and I am joined by my friend and consummate interrupter and co-host,
Eric. Sorry.
Hello, Eric. Welcome to the podcast. It has been a day for both of us. It has been a long day for both of us, but you know what? We care about the people. So today, Eric, what are we bringing to them?
Well, we're sorry we're not as high energy as normal. This is a week of injury cast. I got a headache going on, and it is not subsiding. So
I'm joining you in the injury cast with bringing in back pain. Back pain. It's a pain in the back.
So it's hard to be high energy. In fact, we aren't video recording this. If you ever watch our videos, they're on YouTube at Pull Up a Chair Podcast on YouTube, and you can watch our beautiful faces and our fashion sense there. But even this week, because I can't stand the lights, we're not doing video. And Nick was gracious enough to accept that bargain for me.
I was gracious enough to suggest that.
Yeah,
bargain.
he did, and I'm glad.
There was no bargain.
I was setting up the light earlier, and I was like, I don't want to turn this thing on. It's so bright. So
I have a quick question, though.
What's that?
Do we have a podcast brethren that we are promoting this week?
No.
Okay. No, nobody wants.
Here we go. If I find, I can promote one, but I just don't know who it is yet. So the podcast we are promoting this week is.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news. We interrupt this program to bring you a
this
special
broadcast to bring you this important bulletin from the United Press. Bring you this important bulletin from the United Press.
The Journey into Comics Network is proud to present the Poor Report, your one-stop podcast stop for everything news and topics of personal interest. I am your host, Andrew Poor, and you can listen to me every other Tuesday.
All right, that's the podcast we're promoting this week, whatever then that was. It's probably going to be my friend Nate's, one of his 4 or 5 podcasts. I'll just pick one of his because I have his stuff in reserve.
That sounded like nothing.
No, there is something there.
I know that something probably played, but I think I blacked out from pain. And when I came to, you were just saying that was it.
Yeah, that's the podcast is helping us this week by being a promo. That's it.
Well, I mean, it's just us giving a shout out to others in the Podcastia world out there.
Well, Podcastia is actually another podcast.
Podcastia.
That's another podcast show.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Podcastia is another podcast show.
Well,
I guess we're promoting that one too.
Okay, we don't have their promo, but
we don't have their promo.
Podcastia hit us up. I didn't know that was a real thing.
They're still going. I don't remember. All right, so this week, as I mentioned, you don't get to see our fashion sense and Nick's fabulous 80s glasses that he places on his face to ready himself for this nostalgia cast.
Right. I bring myself in. I get into character.
He does. You really do.
I get it back to the times of the people. When the voice of the people mattered, Eric, when I could look out among the unwashed masses and think to myself, man, what a fashionable world I live in.
Unwashed masses. I like that description of your brethren. So this week we're talking about fashion of the 80s, and if we have time, 90s, but I doubt we will, because the 80s was such a wonderful time of fashion, colors, cuts, styles, you name it. They changed it. And the 80s was just a unique time period of just craziness. One of the greatest fashion icons of the 80s is one of our dearly departed singers, Michael Jackson. Prince, actually, I don't really realize. I don't think Prince always wore weird stuff. He always did.
Right.
I don't know. Was he? I was thinking Michael Jackson. But I say that one because he influenced what I wore. I had a red jacket because Michael Jackson had that red jacket. I wore gloves because Michael Jackson wore gloves.
Did you wear gloves with the fingers cut out of them?
No. Yes, I did. I cut the fingers out myself.
Did you really?
Yeah. Like I would do it at home. I wouldn't wear them out and about, but yeah.
Did you moonwalk everywhere?
Did you not try to moonwalk as a kid?
Oh, come on, man.
Did you not practice?
Everybody tried to moonwalk.
It looked like magic.
Mine just looked like falling down backwards, but
Mine looked like just walking backwards. I'm moonwalking. Look at me.
oh, I'm sure your parents knew exactly what moonwalking was.
Well, they knew what it was, and what I had to
parents
do
didn't.
was like get socks on and go to like the hardwood or the tile and try to do it there. And yeah, I got pretty. I thought I got good at it at some point in time, but no, I don't really think I ever got that good at it. I've seen people do it since that are just amazing. But yeah, whatever. But his fashion really. I don't know why his fashion influenced me so much. The second thing was, I kind of beat a trend. I feel like I wore wind pants nonstop. I had a couple different pair of pants.
Would you call those parachute pants?
They were the predecessor too. They didn't have as baggy tops as the parachute pants do. But yeah, I felt like I beat MC Hammer to that. That's the 90s. That was 90s, wasn't it?
No,
early 90s.
no,
MC Hammer was that part of the late 80s?
MC Hammer's reign.
His reign. I like that. MC Hammer was on the throne in the fashion world.
Well, he did. Now, my friend, you're not wrong. He did sit on a throne in one video. I got to find out when You Can't Touch This came out. This is a song that came out. Oh, nope, released 1990.
Yeah.
He was right on the line, my friend.
He was there. But yeah, but also Michael Jackson had a couple outfits. I'm being honest with you guys, I don't feel that super duper great. Normally I would have this a little more prepared, but he had a couple outfits that really influenced me. And one was that he had some black leather-like pants he wore that had zippers on them. And I had pants that were as close as I could afford to those. And I'd wear those with my red windsuit coat, which was my red coat. And I'd put my glove on. And I didn't have like a tape recorder. I didn't have like any of Michael Jackson music. I only knew it from like commercials.
Did you have what I'm picturing of young Eric, did you have a large clock that hung from your neck?
Oh, no, you're talking about
Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav. Yeah, no. That was 90s too.
Yeah, it was.
No, he had some stuff in the late 80s though, but that was that early rap. He had some of that. Didn't he?
Yeah, I believe so.
I mean, I don't know Flavor Flav's entire
You should.
No, I saved that room in my brain for John Wick.
I'm pretty sure
Reeves.
Flavor Flav doesn't even remember all of his stuff.
Oh, well, that's guaranteed. I don't know. Now I'm all like looking down Flavor. 1984, the group release. So he Public Enemy in 1984. So yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that was me. That was the Michael Jackson stuff really got me. Cyndi Lauper, like the girls.
You dress like Cyndi Lauper?
No.
Well, let's talk about what 80s fashion was. It was a lot of bright colors.
It was. And like odd cuts of clothing, like fabrics were different. They didn't seem like something you should put on your body.
Well, but you would go out in public. It was not uncommon to see people wearing like bright yellows or bright blues.
Neons. It's like the neon colors
greens.
that were like late 80s. A lot of neons came out, but before it was those odd matching colors, like high contrast colors. Right? Is that what you'd say?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it was something that people would wear. I mean, See, the nice thing about the 80s when I was a kid, man, I wore sweatshirts and sweatpants. Those were big in the 80s. They had their heyday at that time. My friend, but I mean, you also got to bring up, tight rolling the jeans.
I didn't do that.
I didn't either, but it was something that people did. And not only that, man, you had the gold chains.
I remember the gold chains. Then those led pretty ferociously into the 90s.
Which let's also point out that a lot of the 80s fashion trends can now be found in older, like retired people in Florida with the, they wear the sweatsuits like you were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
With the gold chain hanging down, and maybe the sweatsuits zip down a little bit to let a few of the hairs breathe. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, yeah, you had puffy hair.
Oh, the girls with the bangs. I'm telling you, man, they've like a girl that was, well, I was in school, a girl who was like 4 foot tall. If you measured her, she'd be 4'6", but she'd have 6 inches worth of bangs puffed up there, rolled back. Just, man.
With their mind on their money and their money on their hair.
I guess. I don't know. It was crazy. What else do I remember? I was trying to think. Something crossed my mind a second ago. I was trying to remember. There was a show. Well, okay, Bill Cosby had his show, and the oldest daughter.
The Huxtables.
The Huxtables.
You had
Vanessa.
Vanessa, yeah.
No, not Vanessa. The one older than Vanessa. Dadgummit, my headache's destroying my memory right now. The one that got her own show. A different world?
A Different World?
Yeah, was that A Different World?
Yeah, that was the name of the show.
So that they were the fashion of the 80s. It was like this show, I don't remember what year it came out, A Different World. But I remember when they came out, I was just like, I don't understand their fashion. So 87, Different World came out, and it was, I don't know who dressed them. I don't know who did their clothes, but they were, for me, they're very memorable. It was just like these clothes became...
Of course they were memorable. This brought us the character of Dwayne Wayne, who had the sunglasses that flipped up.
Yes.
Who single-handedly, I believe, brought this trend into existence.
Uh-huh.
You also had there were a lot of trends that flowed out of, like you said, the Huxtables and out of A Different World. I mean, you had the hats. You had those weird top hats that people wore, because you actually saw them. A lot of the actors and actresses and musical stars of those times wore those weird.
Well, they also did those like tribal or African inspired
shirts,
garments and stuff. And I still see those today. When I walk around the area of higher education, I see guys dressed in those today. I'm like, they look cool. I wish I looked that good in that stuff.
Well, and if we're going to mention one thing about the 80s, if there's something...
No, I have one thing to mention that we need to touch on.
What's that?
Shoulder pads.
Oh, buddy, you beat me to it.
You're going to do shoulder pads?
I was going to bring up shoulder pads. It was something that was around everywhere.
It was weird.
It was.
My mom wore shoulder pads.
My mom wore shoulder pads all the time.
It looks... Now, I'll watch an old show and I'll see, like, obviously a woman in a dress with shoulder pads. I don't understand it.
Oh, no. No, it is odd.
I mean, what was the point of the shoulder pads? If you're a lady and you listen to this, tell us, because it's not appealing to me.
Well, here's my thing. Honestly, as a child, when they would mention shoulder pads, until much later when I realized what they were talking about.
You thought like football, right?
Yeah,
that me too. I remember that.
I thought Mom was playing football. Because Dad would mention her wearing shoulder pads. And for some reason, I thought Mom was like going to go play football. This was Little Nick's understanding.
Little Nick's understanding of the
world around him. Yes.
No, I got the same thing. I didn't understand. I think I asked my mom eventually just what she meant. No, another icon of the 80s. It was obviously Madonna. I remember her always having such unique outfits that would usually trickle down in a more realistic way into normal everyday fashion, such as, remember she had the cone bra? That might have been early 90s, but she was on the...
I think that's 60-year-old Madonna you're talking about.
Yeah, man, she's not doing well. I heard her last album only sold like a couple thousand.
Oh, I hope... You know what? Madonna, we hope you're doing okay. I know that's hard times.
Yeah.
And in this economy, you can't be just selling 1,000 albums.
I know. Like, phew. I'll tell you one other thing I remember. I'm sorry, I'm just rolling through here. I don't know how long this is going to last, but another thing I remember was, like jazzercise was a thing. Remember the workout and the step workout?
Yeah, the ankle things.
That were you talking about the ankle socks?
Yeah.
Or I'm talking about like they would wear like
spandex?
the spandex. Like
Yes.
it would be like a spandex like bathing suit looking thing with like pants under, like then spandex pants underneath it. It was really weird.
It was.
It
But
seems uncomfortable.
by the
too.
way, if you want a great show that captures a lot of this stuff, it
Yeah?
is the Goldbergs.
Oh, really?
The Goldbergs is a great show, one I enjoy, and
They really get the essence of the 80s.
Yeah, sweaters. The mom on that show wears sweaters all the time.
I wore a
and-
sweater today. What are you saying?
Well, no, I'm talking about that was what a lot of women back then, but she's wearing the sweaters with like the shoulder pads in them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean it.
That's great.
But a lot of my mom wore sweaters all the time.
Oh, she did?
Oh, yes. I mean that was something that just seemed to be when you would go shopping all the time, you would see moms just wearing sweaters.
I remember that. I remember that.
It seemed to be a huge, trend that I didn't understand. I hated sweaters. That's why I wore my sweats, because I didn't like anything. I wore sweatpants and t-shirts if it was cold, because my mom said I had to.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
For all of our listeners who don't know, Nick's perpetual outfit is t-shirt and shorts.
Dang right.
And we're talking dead of winter. You lived in Utah for a while where it was really cold, right?
Yep.
And that was still t-shirt and shorts.
Oh, yeah.
Do you even own a jacket or a coat of some sort?
I do.
I mean, is it old? Did you ever wear it?
Back in the 80s.
Back in the 80s.
I don't know if it even fits anymore.
That's crazy. Yeah, I just I can see that. I can see little Nick at the Institute for Troubled Children in his t-shirt and his sweatpants and his straitjacket walking around in the sunlight in the 80s. I can see that.
Well, I didn't like the straight jacket so much.
Well, I mean,
I had a straight t-shirt.
Straight t-shirt. I don't know what that means, but I'll take it.
You know, another popular trend that happened back in the 80s,
Yeah.
the keyboard necktie. Did you ever see these?
Yeah, I did see those. I remember those. They had a slight reemergence or something in the 2000s. I saw them again.
Right.
For a short time.
Yeah, I mean that was something that seemed to be, a lot of people wore those things and they were obviously hideous. Now they would have been cooler if they were a necktie keytar.
A necktie keytar.
Speaking of things of the 80s, you remember the old keytar?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
Oh, buddy, those were magical on so many levels.
I don't know. I'm sure there's someone who knows how to play that nowadays.
There better be.
There better be.
There better be, because that is a lost art, sir. A lost art.
I just came across something. 80s, hyper 80s, I think early 90s, all jean outfits. Jean coat, you had your jean coat, your jean jeans on, and then you had a jean shirt on or something like that,
Well, the jeans matched the jean jacket. I
Yeah.
remember they would put out matching.
Like jean was a big deal in the late 80s. This is a late 80s fashion and early 90s. It was like jean on jeans. In fact, I was at Goodwill the other day because I like older clothes that have character, and I found a awesome 80s jean vest. Unfortunately, it was the size of a child's, so I bought it for my kids. My daughter immediately saw it and was just like, "Is that for me? Is that mine? Is that mine?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can wear it if you want. I just bought it for you or your brother because my oldest son, they're not much different in size. He likes that stuff too." But she got really excited and immediately put it on and wore it to school.
Well, these were often done in another fashion trend, the old acid wash jeans.
Oh yeah, the acid wash coat, acid wash jeans. Then you would have your denim shirt.
Right.
Or a shirt with no sleeves on it. That was another thing. Of course, you still see those today, but those with your jeans.
My
Yeah,
friend,
good times.
Did you have a high top fade as a kid?
No, I didn't. I didn't have that. Did you?
No, buddy, I had horrible hair as a child. I have like 8 cowlicks and in my hair. Well, now I'm bald, obviously, but at the time I could not grow my hair out because if I did, I looked like the picture of Albert Einstein where the hair's going everywhere.
Oh wow! You sound like the quintessential kid on every show who's like the crazy kid. His
Yeah.
hair's always like spiraling out of control.
You know, strangely, my family would say I was the crazy kid, but I don't believe them.
Well, they did send you to an institute, but
That institute
for
was
accelerated
higher learning.
accelerated kids.
You know,
Prison.
Coca-Cola clothing was very popular.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola everything was popular back in the 80s.
Oh, yeah. Hey, what about did you have any of the
Ernest clothing?
Ernest P. Worrell?
Yeah,
Is that what it
Ernest
is?
World, yeah.
Yeah, I
he
remember
was
that.
very popular.
Did you have any of the sweatsuits that were like toy themed?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like
Buddy, I
the
told you,
GoBot ones or are those the suits you wore? I remember those. And I had to wear those until
GoBot.
the GoBots. I got a picture of the
Man.
GoBot sweatsuit pulled up.
I did
I
not
had the
wear
Transformers.
GoBots thing. I couldn't afford those.
What'd you have? Just the knockoff?
Yeah, I had the
The
knockoff.
Kmart ones?
I had the knockoff of the GoBots, which the GoBots were actually knockoff of Transformers. Mine were just rocks.
Just Go Rocks.
Yeah, it wasn't even Go Rocks. It was like Sit Rocks.
Yeah, and
My Pet Rock.
early 80s, another thing was like stripes on everything. Like all the socks had stripes. Mm-hmm. And everyone wore long socks. Like it's kind of coming back now. But everyone wore the long socks with the stripes at the top. And like the sweatsuits for kids, all of them had like one sleeve that had stripes or one pant leg that had stripes to match it. And that was it. That's like, man.
Well, do you remember the swatches?
Yeah, I remember swatches.
Did you have swatches?
I had knockoff like swatches. Like,
I did not get a swatch until much later. I think once the trend had passed.
you got the ones like after the trend, like
Right.
the kids are like, I don't really want this.
I think I got it from Goodwill, actually. And I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And then I showed up and people made fun of me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Can you
Aw.
believe that?
Poor Nick.
I know.
Abused. I mean, I just feel so bad for you.
This is something that was very strange. I mentioned the Coca-Cola clothing.
Yeah.
But Mickey Mouse clothing was also
Oh,
very.
yeah.
That's when you saw a lot of the watches that were like the Mickey Mouse hands,
Yeah.
which are still popular today, but were extremely popular back in the 80s.
I had one of those. Got it for my birthday.
Did you really?
Yeah, because that's just everyone had Mickey Mouse stuff. Mickey Mouse sweatshirt, like not like a picture of Mickey Mouse, like embroidered with Mickey Mouse.
Right.
Like nice embroidered sweatshirts of Mickey Mouse. Just a little bitty Mickey on like just like where your pocket would be on
Right.
something. Even on like dress shirts, like a Mickey would be there.
Yes.
That was weird.
It's just very strange to me how popular shirts like that were. Because you had, like I said, Coca-Cola. I even remember people wearing, and we've talked about it before, the California Raisins.
Yes.
There were California Raisin shirts that a lot of people wore.
It's like a
when they
nice
were
polo
popular.
shirt with a California raisin on it. And you know what? I had one.
Did you really?
Yeah, I had one of those. I'm telling you, I told you my aunt had a bunch of California raisin stuff. If you remember, a couple episodes ago. And yeah, I think it came from her. And the thing was, it was like an adult size. And I wasn't able to wear it. I was like in high school where this high school was late 90s. And so I wore it then. And it felt old then. It felt old and dated like a few years after.
Now, did you wear your tennis shoes without laces?
No, I couldn't do that. I was always running around, man.
And you people would pop the tongue out.
Yeah, I
to make
remember
it
that.
look cool.
I never did that. Did you?
No, I did not. But I remember friends that did this, and they also had other friends had the big fat laces.
Yeah, I had big fat laces, not the hyper fats, but like just the standard fat lace.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean that was like a big trend there too. Was these fat laces? I mean, it was cool to do that. Power suits were popular.
Power suits, yeah, I remember the power suit for the ladies.
Power suits for ladies, but also the men. It was kind of both. Power suits would show up in movies all the time as, they would wear these things like bankers and things like that. It was always people would always wear these suits that were dark.
What's a power suit? I mean, I knew the idea for a woman. What's it for a man? Isn't that just a suit?
No, it was the ones that it like had the dark chalk stripe. Well, I'll read the description here of it. Dark chalk white striped suits, the banker's collar, the wide ties, and suspenders.
Oh, power like a broker suit.
Right.
I always think of brokers. Okay. I gotcha.
Those were very popular, which, I mean, I know people that still wear suspenders today under their suit, and I could not even imagine wearing suspenders.
I've thought about getting a pair of suspenders.
You have?
Yeah, I saw a guy when he had a belt on and suspenders, and I was like, "Is that right? Do you need both? How much weight do your pants have in them that you need both suspenders and a belt?" Because I've seen guys with just suspenders. Obviously, I just wear a belt most of the time. But the guy had both, and I was like, "Is that right? Is that fashionably right to wear a belt and a suspender?"
I don't know.
I don't think so, but I'll have to look it up.
If you're gonna wear that, also get one of those neat things that clips onto your belt to hold your cell phone.
So many guys at work have those still. I mean, all the guys who do like maintenance, they all have those.
Yeah,
they all have those.
Now let's talk name brands.
Jordache.
Yeah,
Jordache. Because I remember the thing is, like, I had Jordache shoes, and kids made fun of me.
What?
They're like,
because they were jealous.
But they didn't know that Jordache was a brand name.
Like
Adidas was in the late 80s. Adidas got real big, and then through the 90s.
Well, you also had Converse were big.
Cons were always big. Cons been big since the 50s or 60s.
Right. You also had LA Gear.
LA Gear.
You remember LA Gear?
Hold on. Yes. LA Gear was not. They were cheap. Cheap. They had the pump tongue. That's what I had the pump tongue with the LA Gears.
But also the LA Gears were also very popular because they also were the ones that came out with the shoe that lit up when you walked on it.
Oh, it was like the first one?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was something that Joe Joan Montana, the quarterback, not the actor, and Michael Jackson would rock these kicks, and so people would
rock these kicks.
That's what this article about him says. Ocean Pacific.
OP. I remember when OP came to Walmart. I was like, Ocean Pacific? Because Ocean Pacific was like high-end name brand for my people. And I saw it at Walmart a few years, I think Walmart or some like normal like store like that. I don't know. Target has their own brands, but I think it was Walmart. And I saw Ocean Pacific there, and I was like, Ocean Pacific's at Walmart? That's not. Didn't Ocean Pacific have like their own stores?
They did.
Yeah, they were like a big deal.
They were for a long time.
Could not afford their clothes. I don't think I owned a drop of Ocean Pacific until it went to Walmart.
Yeah, I mean it was everywhere back then. I mean, you would have people. I mean, it was a very popular brand, and everybody remembers. You remember that OP label? I mean, it was just an O with a
P layover.
Yeah, kind of built into it.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, you still go buy OP stuff.
Now let me ask you this: hair wise, did you have a rat tail?
Yes. I did. I had a long one too. I rocked a rat tail. I want to say until I was 5 or 6, and I remember going to the hairdresser, which back in the day, once you had a good hairdresser, you used the same one no matter where they went. Whatever salon they were at, you followed your hairdresser around. That's at least my family did. We had the same hairdresser for like 10 or 12 years until she just stopped doing hair. She was so good, and she. I had a rat tail. I don't ever not remember having a rat tail until I remember getting it cut off. And I have long hair now. My hair, I don't know how long it is. My rat tail was well down into the middle of my back. And I remember going to the salon with my mom. She would get her hair done. I mean, my brother and I would go to the salon and we'd be there for like 2 to 3 hours. The mom got her hair permed and all that stuff done to it. We were there forever. And I remember going in, and the reason I got my rat tail cut off is kids kept pulling it and it hurt. I saw a kid with a rat tail just the other day.
It's coming back.
A kid on a soccer team I'm help coaching, he has a rat tail. And I want to pull it because he's a kind of a turd. But yeah.
Well, you know why I wanted one, but I never did one.
Why? Because it would like curl and maybe stab you?
Well, possibly. 'Cause
Okay.
my hair was always out to get me, as you do. However, on the OU football team,
Okay.
there was a man by the name of Brian Bosworth.
The Boz.
The man had
Yeah.
an epic hairdo.
Yeah. Did he have a rat tail? Did he?
He had hair that came down. He had a tail. It wasn't so much a rat tail, but it was a tail.
Okay.
And I remember kids in school got that same kind of. I mean, we are from Oklahoma.
Yes.
And I went to school here in Oklahoma City, it wasn't far from Norman where he was. And I remember kids wanting to be like Brian Bosworth.
Wow.
And this was something that people did. I mean, a lot of kids had that rat tail, and like you said, it's one of those things that's actually coming back.
That makes me sad.
It does. Should.
I don't like that. I think it's so ugly. I tell you though, I get compliments on my hair all the time because it's just long. It's shaved underneath and then it's just long on top. And I get lots of compliments, except for like foreign women who I work around. They're just like, "I hate your hair," and they're all from like very strict.
Well, they are
countries.
jealous of your hair.
I think so.
Now, did you have a Lacoste shirt?
Oh, Lacoste.
Lacoste.
The one with the alligator on it?
The alligator.
Those are expensive shirts, dude. Yes, I had one growing up. That I didn't get it till I found it at a thrift store in the late 90s. I remember because I drove and I was like, hey, this is a great.
It was basically the polo of that time. Like where the polo with the horse and the guy are now around today. The Lacoste was everywhere.
They're still around. They have stores.
Do they really?
They still have stores. They're super expensive. Like I think one shirt is like, their cheap line is like $80.
Holy cow.
I think they have I know because I was talking to someone. They're like, yeah, I want to go to the store and get one of each color. I was like, dude, that's going to cost you like $2,000. So
yeah. Now be honest with me, because let's talk about an 80s trend that was just amazing. Something that changed the world as we know it. Eric, when you're going down the road and you're just bebopping along and you've got your...
I do bebop.
You got your wallet in one pocket.
Okay.
You've got your phone in another.
Yes.
You've got your keys in the other.
Exactly.
You've got something. You got just rocks in the fourth pocket.
Oh, as a kid, yes, I did.
Where
Pennies.
Where are you going to put change and your like notebooks? Oh wait, there's a bag hanging off the front of you, my friend. You're like a kangaroo.
You talk about fanny packs.
I am talking about the fanny pack, sir. The greatest invention of our generation.
My mom rocked a fanny pack for more years than I can count. So I can't count that high. Yeah, my mom rocked that. My dad had a fanny pack back in the 80s. When we go on vacation, we travel, the fanny packs would get broke out, going to Six Flags or any of the amusement parks. My mom normally, even my dad, would occasionally have a fanny pack.
I mean, where else were you going to put the suntan lotion, man?
Well, exactly. And the Carmax.
In the Carmax, that's right. Buddy, this was an amazing invention. Just something that we were blessed with. I can't believe that I got to see it in my age.
You're so lucky.
I am.
You're blessed to be born in the 80s.
And if there is one thing that needs to come back, it is the fanny pack.
Well, I mean, in camping, they now have the basically camping version of the fanny pack. It goes like at the small of your back and clips around you. You can buy those. I forget what they call them. They're secondary bags.
Okay.
They use a lot. And I believe I saw somebody with a fanny. I see them occasionally, like at Walmart or out and about when I see lots of people. There'll be an older person rocking the fanny pack. No shame.
Well, you know, one other thing that I would see sometimes is just hanging around my sister who was older than me. But they would have, like, there was girls that would take off one set of earrings and pull out the big earrings. You know what I'm talking about? The big hoop earrings or the big whatever earrings of the 80s.
Well, see, you grew up around a sister. I had a mom who had more earrings. I mean, she had just boxes and boxes of earrings. It was insane. That's the only, I mean, I wasn't around other people because I wasn't allowed out of the house until I was into my mid-20s. Yeah, guys. I'm just kidding.
It was something that, buddy, I'm right there with you. I mean, 30s here. Just last year. No, I'm
finally got out, did you?
I did, but then I got pulled right back in. No, but it was like these earrings where the larger you could get, the better.
Yeah.
I remember somebody had, I don't remember what it was, but there was some actor, actress, or I want to say it was actually a singing artist that had like records on her earrings. Like actual.
Like she made records into earrings?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Like 45s? Or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It was ridiculous looking, but that was the earring.
You looking back now, and you start rapping down. I don't know.
Repping down. That's right.
Repping down, whatever.
We're doing this. Speaking of another trend, muscle t-shirts, which are sadly coming back again. But
oh man, I see those all the time.
Yes, thanks to people like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Stallone, who made those trends like.
Well, those guys actually worked out and looked good in them.
Well, yeah, but everybody wore them because it was just awesome.
Yeah, got to show the bod off. But, you know, you look back at the 80s and you think about what you wore, and normally you would be sad thinking, oh, I looked ridiculous. I would think that, except for I see all the trends coming back. All of them.
Shoulder pads are making a comeback.
I hope not. They look ridiculous.
No, my friend, sadly they are. In one of the articles I read before we started this, it said that is one of the trends from the 80s that is making a comeback.
I think I've seen my recollection of every 80s trend in the past couple years kind of have a reassurance. The dynamic colors, the crazy contrasts, just all of that kind of stuff. I see that all now. And it kind of like why we kind of started this whole podcast was we kept seeing things from our childhood, 80s and 90s, a little bit in the 70s. We kept seeing them today and with kids and with young adults, just like everywhere. And just like, I just keep seeing my childhood as an adult. I'm just like,
oh, it's coming back.
Everything
Animal prints. Ladies wore a lot of animal prints back in the 80s. You see a lot of cheetah print today.
Oh, yeah. You see a lot of cheetah print.
Crop tops. Crop tops were big in the 80s.
I like crop tops. Don't get me wrong.
And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying.
I'm not complaining either.
Power suits are coming back. You have the shoulder pads, which I already mentioned. I'm going through this article really quickly. Denim jackets.
I see lots of denim.
Denim jackets coming back. The drop crotch pants or the parachute pants.
Well, yeah, actually, there's a new style. It's like at the knee. It's like Adidas makes them, and it's more European. It reminds me of like Eastern European style. It's really kind of tight at the knee down, but as it gets to the top, it bags out. Adidas makes the stuff. It's really big in soccer and football.
Right.
It's a style that's really popular, and I start seeing those a lot now.
The fanny pack is back, not in the same form, but it is.
But the spirit of the fanny pack.
The spirit. There is a new type of, I guess, basically purse or pack that a woman can wear that it's belted instead of like a strap over the shoulder. It's belted around their waist. You had the funky fur is obviously coming back. You have the low cut, high slit gowns.
I don't know much about that.
Well, I mean,
I would like to know more about that. I know what you're talking about.
It's still out there. The all white ensembles.
I see tons of girls wear all white.
Yes.
It looks good.
It does.
It looks good.
It does. The 80s had something going with that. Glittery evening wear. It is back. The off the shoulder dresses.
Yep, I see those quite a bit.
Spandex.
Oh,
coming back.
What do you mean? What are those active wear that the ladies wear?
Yeah.
The yoga pants or active wear?
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, it's nothing like the yoga of the 80s, my friend. Please understand, yoga of the 80s, or not yoga of the 80s, spandex of the 80s was just
It was
insane.
Spandex on top of spandex.
Right.
They had like spandex leotards with shorts underneath.
As they did their jazzercise.
In their step.
Metallic fabrics coming back. And then the last one they bring back is scrunchies. You remember the scrunchie? Scrunchies.
I didn't ever know they went away. To be honest with you,
apparently they did, but they're back with a vengeance. So this is something that has 80s are making a comeback. I know of friends of mine that I have talked to that, you know, their kids have gone through their closet looking for like shirts they had from the 80s and asking if they can have them.
Yeah, I talked to some of the college kids sometimes, and I was talking to a girl who wearing a big sweater. I was like, "Where'd you get that sweater?" And she's like, "It's my dad's." I'm like, "It looks like a Bill Cosby sweater from the 80s."
Oh man, I remember that.
Yeah, I mean,
I remember.
Cosby's...
Was she eating Jello gelatin?
No, she wasn't. But I was like, it looked cool. I was like, hey,
did it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it looked cool. And I was like, man, that's cool looking. Yeah, some cool fashion. Actually, there's this college girl that works at our.
That eats Jello gelatin?
No, I'm like, she has such a unique sense of style, and she's in her like early mid-20s, and
Is that the one you told me about that wore a trash bag the other day?
She wears I was like, her sense of style is like very classic, like very something about it, more like almost 40s or 50s style. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. I'm like, where do you get your clothes from? Where do you find these clothes? She's like, they're my grandma's. So I wear my grandma's old clothes. I'm like, they look amazing. They look so good.
As long as it's kept in good shape, of course it'll look good. But sadly, my friend, it is time to wrap this up. We have run out of time. Our trip down fashion lane, down the fashion catwalk, if you will, as we've looked at the 80s, as we've looked at our Jordashes, our Converse, our scrunchies, our Ocean Pacific, and all the different things, as I take off my Mickey Mouse t-shirt and put on my California Raisins t-shirt, or my fancy, another trend of the 80s, and I'll just mention this one real quick, but like big logo t-shirts or big imprint t-shirts that had like words.
Yeah. Or they glowed in the, like parts of it glowed in the dark. Yeah.
I mean, those were really popular, but you know, as I put one of those on so I can find my way, find myself in the darkness.
Yeah.
You know, it's always good to know that when I'm lost in the darkness, the 80s can always bring me back.
That's right. 80s was a beautiful time, and
it was.
It is.
And it's
a well-deserved reemergence in our day and time.
And, you know, and that's the thing. That's why we enjoy talking about it, and that's why I think people enjoy nostalgia, is that they can remember this kind of stuff with fondness.
Yeah,
they remember those trends. They remember their mothers wearing the shoulder pads or them wearing the shoulder pads. It was a unique time. Exactly. But you know what? Speaking of a unique time, it is time for us to end. Eric, any final thoughts?
I'm sure we missed some fashion
we
trend.
missed a ton.
I know we did. If you're listening to this and you want to comment on it, comment it anywhere you listen to it. We usually kind of look around, see if we can find comments. But if you really want to get a hold of us, the podcast is always on Facebook. Or a link to it. Comment on the Facebook and tell us what your trend was and what you liked, and we will probably comment back and just continue a conversation.
Oh, we will comment back immediately.
Yeah, within
And
moments.
If your fashion trend that you love were the flip up glasses, well, my friend, have I got a treat for you?
Get a picture of yourself.
I will post a picture. If somebody comments to this episode, or if we get 3 comments to this episode, I will post a picture of myself in my flip up glasses.
Oh, man, that sounds like a treat.
Oh, it is, my friend. It is a visual feast for the eye teeth.
For the vision sockets.
Which, by the way, that's the new Apple dentures coming out. The eye teeth. It will help you eat an apple.
Well, you don't eat with them. They do the radio. They'll tell you what the temperature is in your mouth.
Right.
But you can't eat with them.
Don't eat with them.
them.
Okay, that's bad. You can touch them. It'll do weird things when you touch them.
Yeah, change colors.
Yeah, it will.
Don't
It
eat with
will.
them.
Yeah. A horrible nightlight. But thank you for listening. As always, we enjoy doing this. And if you like the 1980s, then you know what? Listen to more of our podcasts. There's a whole list of them there. We talk about this sort of thing. We talk about cartoons, movies of the 80s.
Cereal.
Yeah, cereal of the 80s. We're going to be doing a lot more of, movies and that sort of thing, and shows that really were on, maybe even some obscure shows that you may not have ever heard of, but you need to watch, because the 80s had excellent television all the time.
That's right.
All the time. Well, thanks for joining us, and we hope that you too got a little something out of this memory lane, that you can go to your local Goodwill and get yourself some 1980s Jordashes and, live the dream. Have yourself a great day.
Bye.